So, friends, when we think about Indian society, even today, the most striking feature of Indian social organization is the Varna system, as we call it, as we call it caste system, right? So it is actually a matter of surprise for many scholars, especially those who are not from India or outside scholars, and also for Indian historians and sociologists, that how come this Varna system or caste system had become such a powerful phenomena in our society. It's also an evil, right? It's also a kind of disadvantage for Indian culture. That apart, but first of all, how this Varna system had come into existence. It had been referred as steel frame of Indian society, like civil services have been called as steel frame of Indian administration. So Indian society has this steel frame of caste, and I am sure even today we have the problem of people thinking about caste, and there is caste based oppression or discrimination. So it is not that today the Varna system had come in. Okay, in fact, it had existed for more than 3000 years as we speak today. We are already in 2020 now, right? 2020 plus 1250 years before that. That means almost 3270 years roughly. We are having the uninterrupted continuation of Varna system in Indian culture. And how this had come up, when this had come up. In the Harappan times, yes, which existed even before the Aryan culture could come in India, between mature period of Harappa is between 3000 to 2000 BC. In Harappan times, we did have social differentiation. We do have rich and poor difference, but what kind of social organization was there that we could not know because our inability to understand the script. Unless we know the script, we don't know what people are called. But it is clear that Harappan society had differentiation. Harappan society had very wide, rich and poor differentiation. Now that Harappan civilization had almost declined, and we had the advent of Aryans into India by 1500 BC, then we have the beginning of Varna system in India, regarding which we have lot of details. Okay, so the first reference to Varna system is in the Rig Veda, or the early Vedic period. Rig Vedic period or early Vedic period is is considered to be considered to have flourished between 1500 BC to 1000 BC. In fact, the compilation of Rig Veda, which has 1028 slokas, had taken place in this 500 years. Out of all the books that are in Rig Veda, the Purusha Sukta sloka, which actually explains the origin of fourfold Varna system, which is called Chaturvarna system, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Sudra. These are the four Varnas that are mentioned in the Purusha Sukta hymn, which says that all these Varnas had come up from a cosmic man of neuter gender. Say the Brahmanas have come from the head as a sign of intellect, and Kshatriyas have originated from shoulders as a sign of strength. The Vaishyas had come from thighs as a matter of hard work and production, and the Shudras have come from the feet, symbolizing service to all others. This is how Purusha Sukta hymn says about the origin of Varna system, and this Purusha Sukta hymn is datable according to R.S. Sharma. You see any of the scholars, whether it is R.S. Sharma or we have Suvira Jaiswal, who had done a lot of work on caste and untouchability in ancient India. We do even have Romila Thapar, we have D.N. Jha, B.D. Chattopadhyaya, who is more focused on early medieval India these days. But you name any established scholars. Now it is agreed that this Varna system or the Purusha Sukta hymn is datable to the second half of Rigvedic period, not before that. So almost we can say that according to scholars and historians, the Purusha Sukta hymn got inserted in the Rigveda only towards the second half of the period. So in the later part, later books, so we can say that Purusha Sukta hymn is datable to either not before. Purusha Sukta hymn is datable to not before 1250 BC. That means the origin of the so-called Varna system, Chaturvarna system in Indian culture, as explained in the Purusha Sukta hymn, can only be seen after 1250 BC. That means after the early Vedic culture had begun, after the advent of Aryans in India, by 1500 BC, 250 years there was no Varna system. Remember this. Yes, going by what I have explained to you, we can say that if the early Vedic culture or Rigvedic culture extended from say 1500 BC to 1000 BC, for the first 250 years we did not have the Varna system, because Purusha Sukta hymn, which explains the origin of Varna system, was a later development. Okay, so this brings us to two important questions. As I have written here, is datable to about 1250 BC. That means what had happened in the first 250 years of Rigvedic culture? So what was the social organization that was there before the emergence of Varna system? There are two types of social organizations. One is the Aryans and non-Aryans. Obviously, Aryans had come to India outside from Central Asia, steppes in Central Asia, and it's not that India was an uninhabited land by the time. We do have our people living, Harappans and all that. In fact, Dasarajanya Ayuddha, the details mentioned in the sloka of Rigveda gives details about non-Aryan tribes, and also says that the most important non-Aryan tribe in those days was Ramas. Okay, so the point is, when Aryans had come to India, we do have the non-Aryans living in India, where we are all Indians, right? So the first differentiation is Aryans and non-Aryans. That means, in other words, in simple words, foreigners and locals. Because Aryans were foreigners by that time, we were already having non-Aryans in India. So the first differentiation is Aryans and non-Aryans. And how these people were identified? What is the difference between Aryans and non-Aryans? The complexion, the skin complexion. Okay, because friends, you should always remember the climatic conditions have a bearing on our complexion. Why, for example, why Kashmiris look like Kashmir apples? Very smart, and their complexion is different because it's a cold country. Similarly, the southern Russia part of steppes from where Aryans had come is also a cold country, so obviously their complexion is different from what our Indian complexion is, right? We are all here like this because of our Indian climatic conditions. Okay, so when they had come, it's easy for them to identify that who are Aryan, who is non-Aryan, because of the color, Varna, because of the color, that is Varna. That's why the Varna name had also come. You should note this down. So it is as simple as this, friends. If you are all in class, of course now it's a virtual class, so I can't see you. You are my invisible friends, though I am able to, you are able to see me, right? You're all my invisible friends because of virtual thing. So if somebody is a normal class, or you're going on a road, you suddenly see a foreigner, a Russian or German going, do we require great intelligence to understand that he's a foreigner? He doesn't look like us. He's totally different. His complexion is different, right? In the similar way, in the society, in the Rigvedic society up to 1250 BC, it is the color or skin color Varna was used to identify between Aryans and non-Aryans. The second important category that existed in the Rigvedic social organization before the advent of Varna system is that Dasas and Dasyos. One of the most important aspects in Rigvedic society is constant warfare. This constant warfare is two types. One is intra-tribal or inter-tribal. So the tribes fought within themselves and also fought with other tribes. So it is called inter-tribal or intra-tribal. And because of this constant process of war, which was meant for cattle is the accepted form of wealth in the Rigvedic society. So if an Aryan tribe, listen carefully, If an Aryan tribe defeats another Aryan tribe, the defeated Aryan tribe is called Dasas. Defeated Aryan tribe is called Dasas. Okay? If an Aryan tribe defeats a non-Aryan tribe, the defeated non-Aryan tribe is called Dasyus. Defeated non-Aryan tribe is called Dasyus. Okay, obviously non-Aryans were never able to defeat Aryans because of their weapons and horse and all that, iron weapons and all that. That's a different thing anyway. So friends, you should remember who are Dasas. Defeated Aryans. If an Aryan tribe defeats another Aryan tribe, they are called Dasas. If an Aryan tribe defeats another non-Aryan tribe, they are called Dasyos. None of the non-Aryan tribes could be able to defeat Aryans, so that question will not arise. So this is how situation there was up to 1250. These are not watertight years like 1947 India got freedom. We are talking about approximate periods. Okay. So if this is the scenario, why there was a need for Varna system? What are the factors that led to the emergence of Varna system? Very, very important one. First of all, okay, friends, according to Karl Marx, Varna system is nothing but division of labor at a larger level in the society. We need to ensure the notions of domination and subordination. Who will be dominating, who will be serving in any society? Even in the house, you say, who will do what work, it has to be defined. You take a smaller unit of house. What is society? Society is a combination of families. So if you take a smaller unit of house, in your home also you see what you do, what your father will do, what your mother will do, who will get provisions, who will cook. Okay. So the roles are very clearly defined. So this is nothing but division of labor. So Karl Marx very correctly said Varna system is nothing but a division of labor. So who will produce, who will who will enjoy, who will rule and all that. So Aryans always had dominated the non-Aryans. Okay. So till this period, domination became easy because of color. As long as I am a foreigner, I can dominate you by force, and you are afraid of me because I am a foreigner and I am known by my color. This was the scenario in Indian society in the early Vedic period. So, but friends, by 1250 BC, after 1250 BC, there were no new problems. Now, what are the new problems? The new problems were actually that the Aryan non-Aryan difference is going off. Okay, Aryan non-Aryan difference is going off. I am erasing this. What led to the introduction of Varna system? Two words: end of the early Vedic or Rigvedic period, as reflected in the Purusha Sukta sloka. Right? Now, the distinction between Aryans and non-Aryans on the basis of color was blurring now. The distinction between Aryans and non-Aryans, in other words, foreigners and locals, right? As we have seen. Aryans and non-Aryans was blurring, blurred, you can say, blurred, because of two factors. Because of A, now color is no longer possible, changes in skin complexion of Aryans. One, due to climatic factors. They are saying by that time, if Aryans are staying in India for 200, 250, 300 years, climatic factors. B, due to intermingling of Aryans and non-Aryans. Physical unions, I mean to say physical unions, marriages or whatever. Okay, now we have a mixed breed. We have a mixed breed who might be having any of the color. You have one because you can't identify foreigner any longer based on the color. So all look alike, all Indians by that time. So how do, even if you are a family of Aryans, you can't show that you are an Aryan and dominate others because of color, because other person is also looking like you only. This is because of climatic factors. It is also because of the intermarriages or intermingling between Aryans and non-Aryans. We cannot expect all the Aryans to, not to have any physical contact with non-Aryans. So it has become a mixed breed. The children, prodigies, who are out of a union between Aryan and non-Aryan may get any of the color. Right? We will never know. So this is how domination by color or varna has become very, very difficult. Another important factor is economic factors. Now what is economic factors? Earlier in the Rigvedic time, in the beginning of the Rigvedic time, it was only a pastoral economy, very limited economy. Now an expanding agricultural economy. Agriculture was becoming more and more popular, and in the later Vedic time we have full expansion of agriculture as explained in Satapada Brahmana. But towards the end of the Rigvedic time, agriculture was becoming more and more prominent. So we need somebody to produce. We need somebody to take up agriculture and animal husbandry, right? So there was again, as suggested by Karl Marx, there was a new need for division of labor in the society. There was a new need for division of labor in the society because of changes in the economy. So if all of us are there, there are more and more works. So let us divide. Sridhar will do that, I will do this, he will do this, like that, right? So it is important for the social system to fix responsibilities of all the works and also to dominate by way of this. Whoever is comfortable, they want to ensure their comfort. So what they have seen, very simply, they have seen the existing profiles, occupational profiles in the economy. One is prayers. Rigveda itself is a religious text. There are a lot of prayers and sacrifices. So one group is those people who will do prayers. They have been called as Brahmins or Brahman because Brahman has the word of the cosmic man or Yajna. So they are called Brahmins, Brahmanas. Then we do have fighting. In tribal system, as I said, there are a lot of fighting and some wars are happening. So second important category in the society, occupational profile in the society was fighting or the warfare or whoever is related to administration and all that. So that is the second category, that is Kshatriyas. Third important factor in the society, occupational profile in the society is food production, that is agriculture. So we need agriculturalists. Whoever is doing agriculture by that time, they are dubbed as Vaishyas. So whoever is doing pujas or priests, they have been called as Brahmanas. Whoever is doing the war or related tribal warfare and all that, they have been named as Kshatriyas, and whoever is doing agriculture at that point of time, they have been called Vaishyas. Remember, in the Rigvedic economy, we did not have massive trade and commerce. There could be some limited exchange of goods, obviously, but we do not have trading class as it is, because we are still moving out from self-sufficiency to surplus. Unless there is surplus, we can't have trade and commerce. Okay, so the most important aspect is third profession is Vaishyas, and there is no other profession in the economy available. So serve all others. So whoever are Dasyus and all that, who did not have any specific work to be given in the economy, they have been made as Shudras. See, this is the economic division of Varna system. This is the economic aspect of Varna system. So the emergence of Varna system is driven by these two factors: changes in the identification of the domination and subordination. You can write simply if you want, and follow all this domination, subordination. I have written this entirely on the board. You can write the same thing. It will be the best answer for you. If this question comes, explain the origin of the Varna system. Okay. Economic factors and changes in as agricultural expansion. This I say right here. Agri expansion called for a new division of labor on the basis of existing in that time existing economic profiles. So that's why all these were given: Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, and to get people adhered to this, we need to put some force. The religion is like opium, right? It's intoxicating. Religion is intoxicating. Anything people will be ready to do in the name of religion. So what they simply did, they created a sloka. They said, see, this is how people originated. Okay, and everybody say, oh, it is like this. So this explains the origin of Varna system. Once Varna system originated, it was somewhat flexible in the Rigvedic society. So it was not too rigid, because in Rigveda we have slokas which say different professions of a family. One is a priest, the second one is a grinder, like that. So there is a lot of occupational flexibility to Varna system in the Rigvedic society. Though Varna system was introduced in the Rigvedic period, though it was dividing the society, there was occupational and status mobility in the Rigvedic time. But from the later Vedic time onwards, Varna system was made rigid. Varna system was made very waterproof by restrictions on intercaste marriages and interdining and all that. That's altogether different thing. How the Varna system grew and became more rigid and complex is another topic. But this is how the Varna system had originated in Indian culture, friends. It's a very, very important area in ancient India and in the ancient Indian society. I hope you are able to understand. It's also relevant to us in day-to-day life. The moment you speak about some Varna system or whatever, how this had come, how this had become popular, like that. So friends, this is how Varna system had originated. My phone numbers and emails are also there if you want to reach me out. So you can also talk to me if you need any further more clarification on this. But this is a very, very important aspect that you should see. Okay. So in the Rigvedic society, the most striking factor is the emergence of the Varna system. Right. So that's it for this session. Thank you all for listening to me.